What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another debate episode on EI Entertainment Studios, back at it with another video. So today we're going to talk about Kong versus Biollante. So here's the plan, folks. We're going to go over Kong and Biollante. We're going to go over their backstories, characteristics, abilities. Basically, we're going to analyze these creatures. Once we're done analyzing them, we're going to put them up against each other in a death battle. So, without further ado, let's begin with the backstory of Kong. So, Kong, or known as the King of Skull Island, is a giant superspecies of ape that has grown to immense size. From Kong Skull Island, where Kong was only an infant, he has fully grown now, making himself equal to Godzilla. Having super intelligent abilities and massive strength makes him a super threat to any Titan. So basically, yes, Kong has grown to be comparable, just a little bit, just a tiny bit smaller than Godzilla, but basically almost the same height as Godzilla, and that's to show the immense size, and Godzilla is approximately 119 meters tall. Now, abilities. We're going to do a quick skim, and we're going to do a complete analysis of the abilities once we completely finish off Kong, but we'll do a complete skim, so don't worry, and a deep analysis. So, abilities go as follow, quick skim. Unmatched Agility, Super Intelligence, able to jump anywhere, Super Fast, Death Punch, Godzilla Dorsal Plate Axe. Territory level is maximum, aggression is maximum, biome is Earth, and height is approximately the same as Godzilla, a little bit shorter. Now, let's go back to the abilities and let's do a deep analysis. So first of all is Unmatched Agility, and by far, to this date actually, I don't know any kaiju that can match the agility of Kong. Yes, in Godzilla vs. Kong, spoiler alert, we definitely did see Godzilla to be pretty agile, pretty fast, but it's still unmatched to Kong. Kong can jump from building to building, run over obstacles, and it's just incredible. So, yeah, he has unmatched agility. He also has super intelligence. Remember, Kong is actually a primate, and he is very smart, and we saw he could actually speak to humans in this film with sign language, so he has the capacity to learn that and communicate with humans, so making him one of the most smartest Titans out there. And not only that, he could just plan out battles, and basically he knows what he wants and knows what he's doing. He has a very smart conscience, and he could reason very well. And that could help him out in the battles and defense and offense and all that good stuff, right? Able to jump anywhere. I kind of went over that with the agility, so yes, he's basically able to jump anywhere he wants to. He's super fast. He could run in immensely fast speeds, and with that he could ram into opponents and just make them all confused, basically, right? He has a death punch. He can punch really hard, and if he gets the right one, he can knock the opponent out or even kill them if it's on the right spot of the brain. And finally, he has the Godzilla Dorsal Plate Axe, where from his ancient ancestors, he got the axe where it's made of Godzilla's dorsal plate, and if Godzilla's atomic breath charges up on it, he can actually deflect, or actually take in the breath of Godzilla, known as the atomic breath or the atomic laser. I wouldn't call it an atomic laser, let's call it an atomic breath. If we were going to say Shin Godzilla, then we could have atomic laser, but let's stick with atomic breath. So folks, that is going to basically sum up Kong. Let's move on into Biollante. So Biollante is a creation from a laboratory, combining rose DNA with human DNA, then with G DNA to create a living, breathing, man-eating rose that is half Godzilla. So obviously, I'm not going to go over the characters and anything like that. We're just going basically exactly what the creature is, and just to go kind of more in depth, the human that was used to make Biollante, her name is Erica. Now, territorial level is high, aggression exceeds max, biome is Earth, height is 120 meters tall. Now, I'm going to do a quick skim, and then we're just going to go right into it and do a deep analysis of each ability. So, the skim goes as follows: multiple tentacles with teeth, massive size, 1,000 rows of teeth, radioactive sap, tunneling, and regeneration. Okay, so that's all of the abilities. Now let's go back, let's do a deep analysis one by one to see what the heck we're dealing with here. So, first of all, Biollante, she has multiple tentacles, while she can actually use some of them as a spear as well to cut through the flesh. And not only that, but almost, if not all the tentacles have teeth of their own. They can bite into the flesh of the opponent. So it's very powerful. She can pick up opponents with it, she can throw them around, she can stab with them. So it's absolutely incredibly strong, and it actually prevents the opponent from actually getting to the main body of Biollante, because she can basically keep on pushing the opponent away or doing damage to the opponent with the tentacles and blocking herself, which is very, very good defensive system as well, and also offensive at the same time. Now, she has massive size, as we talked about. She is approximately 120 meters tall. You know, a Kong is pretty big as well, but she is obviously the biggest here. Next, we have 1,000 rows of teeth. So if she gets a hold of the opponent and puts the opponent in her mouth and bites onto him, her, whatever the creature is, if another Biollante existed, it would be kind of interesting. We could do a video on that later. But going back to the topic, she can do a lot of damage to the opponent, because it's a lot of teeth, very sharp teeth, would potentially cut the head off, cut the neck off, or whatever part of the body is. Something is getting cut off if it goes into Biollante's mouth, basically. Then we have radioactive sap. So basically, it's not like the atomic breath, but it's kind of similar. Something comes out of the mouth. It's a radioactive sap made from diamonds, and basically it does a lot of damage. It's like a poison, kind of. And it could do, especially to Kong, it could do a lot of damage in this scenario. To Godzilla, it does do damage, but you know, Godzilla still is a radioactive beast, so it's not as effective. So against Kong, it's going to do a lot and a lot of damage. Now, she can also tunnel, meaning she can use her tentacles to go underground and jump out at a new place, kind of like Anguirus, kind of similar to it. And then finally, we have Regeneration. She can actually regenerate her health at a pretty fast pace. Okay, folks, that sums up both Biollante and Kong. Now, we're going into the part we've all been waiting for, the death battle. So, this is how it's going to work. We're going to go best out of two, close range and far range. So, here's the deal. Here's the deal with this, in terms of close and far range. The reason why I like to do close range is, well, it's just pure battle, and it's just two kaijus. Whoever's better, smarter, stronger is going to win the battle. But far range is a bit more of a testing ability, and we're limiting the abilities of these kaijus by putting them farther, so some abilities are obviously not going to be able to be used. And basically, we're trying to see a kaiju where its abilities are limited. Can it still survive? Can it win? And that's the goal of this debate, or at least the far range. So we're going to go far range first, and we'll see what abilities Kong can or cannot use in terms of far range. And the far range rule is 700 meters apart. They cannot come closer than 700 meters. Okay? So, let's get into it. Unmatched Agility, that is just a defensive ability in this case. I should say he actually, my bad. Biollante is a she, Kong is the he. So, he can run around wherever he wants, but remember, he cannot come closer to the opponent. So, Unmatched Agility, I guess, is just going to be like defensive, running away from anything Biollante has to throw at him. Super Intelligence, again, doesn't matter about distance, so yeah, you could be super intelligent. Able to jump anywhere as long as it's not touching the opponent, 700 meters apart, he's fine. Again, these are all defensive abilities. Super Fast, same thing. Death Punch cannot be used, remember, they cannot physically touch each other, 700 meters apart. So Death Punch is invalid for this battle. Kong will not be able to use that ability. And then finally we have the Godzilla Dorsal Plate Axe, and that could be used for deflective purposes. Okay, let's go to Biollante. Let's see what could be used here. So, multiple tentacles with teeth cannot be used because those tentacles are not going 700 meters away from the body. Unless they detach, and that's not gonna work. Okay? So that's invalid. Massive size, who cares? Too far to even matter at this point. Way too far, 700 meters. 1,000 rows of teeth are basically useless because she can't bite the opponent because, as I said, too far. Radioactive Sap can be used. Tunneling cannot be used for offensive, but can be used for defensive. And Regeneration, sure, doesn't matter about how far she is from the opponent. So, let's begin with the battle. Kong and Biollante. I personally see Biollante being the first one to attack because of watching Godzilla vs. Kong. Godzilla was the first one to attack. Kong is more subtle, calm, and he'll only attack if he is threatened. And Biollante is going to be the threater, so I believe Biollante is going to be the actual one to attack first, and that's obviously going to be with the Radioactive Sap, because it's actually the only thing she can use in terms of far range, and it's going to do a lot of damage to Kong, because remember, Kong is big, but he's flesh. So he's, it's not like Godzilla where the skin is thick and it's easy to penetrate. It's not. It's not easy to penetrate. Kong is very easy to penetrate, and basically, it's going to be pretty bad. So it's really going to cut into the flesh of Kong. So going off from that, the only thing Kong could actually do here is the axe. And I've made this argument before, and I still stand by it. And I've said that the axe can only, not by stabbing, of course, he could stab anyone, but remember this is far distance, so that's not even valid anyways. But the axe, the reflective or the absorption ability, can only be used if it's legendary Godzilla's atomic breath, because it's legendary Godzilla's dorsal plate. And if this was legendary Biollante, then the dorsal plate axe would actually be able to be used because it has Godzilla DNA. That Biollante would have Godzilla DNA inside of it. Or I should say legendary Godzilla DNA inside of it. And from that it would work. But this Biollante is an older 1989 Godzilla. So the axe will not be able to reflect from Kong's because Kong's axe is made of legendary Godzilla. Biollante's DNA is from 1989's Godzilla. So there's a problem here. The axe cannot reflect or absorb that atomic breath. It's not the same. And the only thing he can do is throw it at her, and that's basically useless because once it's gone, it's gone. So as unfortunate as it is, I believe Biollante will kill and destroy Kong in far range because of the radioactive zap. So 1-0 in terms of far range for Biollante. Perfect. Now let's go to close range, all-out battle. This is a completely different ball game. All abilities are valid. Face-to-face, Biollante has the upper hand. Not only is she bigger, she has these giant tentacles protecting her body and are going to slap the crap out of Kong, and it's going to bite Kong. So Kong is going to have to be very smart here. This is where his intelligence comes in. So he's going to have to be running around, and he's going to be basically jumping off of building to building, getting big stuff of like big debris, and basically just throwing it at Biollante's head and trying to rip him up, right? So rip up the flesh, and it's going to be a difficult one, but at one point, that one of the tentacles are going to catch Kong. It's inevitable. It's going to happen while he's jumping around. And if that tentacles, and when that tentacle does catch Kong, it's basically, I would say it's game over. Yeah, Kong is strong. He might be able to rip one or two of the tentacles, but he's going to be grasped by all of them. And but by the time he rips all of them, some of them are already biting into his flesh. And not only that, some of the tentacles actually are spears, and they'll be spearing straight into the body of Kong. And we saw how easy Kong dislocated his shoulder, so it's gonna be pretty hard for Kong to get this win with those tentacles inside of his body, basically spearing him or penetrating him there in the body, and also the tentacles with their teeth holding on to Kong, and he's going straight into Biollante's mouth with those thousands and thousands and thousands of rows of teeth, and when that mouth chomps, Kong's head is absolutely gone. So therefore, I'm going to give 2-0 to Biollante. This is just my opinion, obviously. You could debate me in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great and wonderful day.